Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Third Action. I'm your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three barrels of fish that were here last week. In the bottom left, we have Asherford, Human Ranger. In the bottom middle, we have Greshy, Ironroot, Dwarven Druid. In the bottom right, we have Gunn, Shough, Human Champion of Erastil, played by Char, Will, and Adam, respectively. Speedrun.
I think you've got your thing down now. I like pretty good.
I need everybody.
But you forgot Kennedy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Kennedy's here.
Kennedy's here.
Aw, sleepy
He's
boy.
sad. So I hope his tummy isn't grumbly. Last time I fed him the food I fed him, he got sick. But we think it's because Rob spun him in a circle right after he ate.
Probably doesn't help things now.
So
All right.
I think he's okay. I think he just wants to sleep.
Well, hashtag pray for Kennedy. But otherwise, welcome. I guess we'll go ahead and jump right in. So last week on Third Action, our group of intrepid adventurers returned to the plane of the mortal living world. They weren't dead, but they returned to the material plane. And there they found themselves in one of the offshoots of the cave system that led to the entrance portal to the Runeforge. But when they arrived there, they found the entire thing had been destroyed, probably intentionally, and the dragon, what was left of the dragon's hoard had been stolen by some feathery individuals, maybe in heels. Undeterred by this, our group made their way up to the cave mouth, set free, or started to set free some animals, and made their way south towards Riddleport, stopping off in a couple places along the way, unleashing even more animals. And by the time they arrived at Riddleport the next day, or early the next morning, all of their animals had been released, and they took up residence in an inn that happened to be open that late. Getting just an hour or so of rest to re-prepare spells and things, our group begins to lace up their boots for a day of shopping and, I suppose, inquiry. Only to find that as they're getting ready, the clouds seem to part outside, and a beam of green light, not like a focused beam or anything, but a green light filters in through their windows, through the glass, and that is where we will rejoin the party. So, you each have only gone back to I think you each individually bought a room at the inn. And this is the Maiden's Mare. And yeah, it's just a pale green light is kind of filtering in through the window.
That's probably nothing.
I think I'm going to take a look outside and see if there's anything obvious about the cause. I suppose I could look out the window if it's coming in through our window. Greshy's room has one.
Yeah. All three of you have.
The window isn't green.
All three of you have.
It's just stained glass
rooms. Yeah, Greshy, you make your way up to the window first, kind of hoping that it's actually stained glass, but no, that doesn't seem to be the case. The color on the streets looks. Everything out on the street looks like it's slightly tinged in this greenish color. You can see a carriage, or not carriage. I could have just said carriage. A cart coming by, a horse-drawn cart coming by on the street, giving a little bit of a rumble to the wooden planks of this building. You hear a couple people shouting to each other, but nobody seems to take notice of the different colorness of the sky. You look up and you can see it's relatively subtle. Where the sun is peeking through the clouds, it's a bit more of like a normal kind of yellowy sun. You're like trying not to look directly at it. But as it kind of filters through the atmosphere, it becomes like a deeper greenish color. And it's like this for a moment, for maybe 10, 20 seconds, and then starts to fade back to a normal daylight, warm, whitish yellow.
We've been here before. Didn't do that last time we were in town.
Nope, you were here
As I
for
recall.
more than a day, I think, so you don't remember that ever happening.
Seems a
It
bit
went away.
concerning.
It's probably fine. Probably nothing.
Probably nothing to worry about. Just a trick of the light in the morning hours with all the pollution. Riddleport.
I suppose it could be the pollution. I could see that.
No,
I don't know if
think,
they have big industries here that would cause it, though.
Does seem to be a sign that
Wait, are you guys regrouping together in the
Waxing.
end? Is that what's happening?
We're all independently thinking to ourselves.
Yeah. It's just
No,
a
at some point,
little
Greshy would have
Having a
gone to find
conversation.
Gunn and
No,
Asher
yeah.
to double check and make sure he's not going crazy in terms of what he saw.
seeing that Gunn would actually go downstairs and start talking to the desk guy again. Assuming it's the same person who was there an hour or two ago.
Yeah, it's the same elven guy is still there. He looks at you. Back down already.
Oh yes, we just had to do some preparation and drop off some things, but we'll be around the town today, most likely. I have a question for you. Have you seen the sky in the mornings recently? It just flashed a quite strange color.
Oh, the green sky thing? I wouldn't worry about that, he says as he closes his book and
do you know
places
what
it
it
on the
is?
table. Or counter.
Do you know what caused it?
What caused it? Not really. It's been happening ever since the earthquakes.
When were the earthquakes?
Well, he kind of thinks to himself, turns, and he's got a calendar up on the wall. It's used for managing bookings. And he's just kind of like thinking to himself.
Discreet look at that.
You're discreetly looking at it? Sorry, was
Yeah.
that what you said? Okay. It is 2708 AR, Fire Day the 18th.
2708?
Yes, 2708 AR.
That is some
Oh, sorry, 4708.
2,000 years in, in the
Ha.
past.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
No, I
That's great
miswrote.
for being
I
so far
miswrote.
from
No, you did not go
Did not
2,000 years in the past. Holy shit, no. No. It's my notes trolling you.
I was gonna say, out
4708.
of all of the things, the time effects, I figured the
That was not the
Runeforge
direction
might
you were
have.
expecting.
That was not one of
I
them.
guess back in time.
You
Let's go
misread his
back in
handwriting. On the he like has to fill in the date himself.
Sure, blame Gunn.
Well, no, I'm blaming the innkeeper. He's
Okay,
got really bad
so-
handwriting.
Fair.
So, is that a 2? No, that's a 4. Oh, thank goodness. I thought we had to
Wow,
travel.
we really haven't improved at all in 2,000 years.
While I'm remembering, let me
No,
update the
okay,
actual-
Sorry, what was that date again, and what does that compare to our expectations?
I don't know. What does it
It
compare to
was-
your expectations?
Well, which month is
Listen,
it?
I don't know the calendar months and Pathfinder speak.
Sorry,
But which month is it?
It's Abadius.
Abadius.
Yes.
Think-
Fire Day, Abadius the 18th.
I don't think that's that much longer after we left.
You
We-
left. If you like the
We
the
left
hint,
right after
I mean,
New
the
Year's.
answer. Yeah, you left on Abadius the 10th, which was an Oath
Right.
Day.
So I think about the
And-
same amount of time we spent.
Okay. So nothing unexpected seems to have happened temporarily.
So
Yeah,
far.
not at
It's
a
about 8
glance.
days later.
Yeah. It seems to be
Right.
about 8
That's
days.
disappointing.
Sorry, you were saying about the earthquakes?
Oh, well, there was one big one, maybe a month ago or so. Heard it stirred up a lot of trouble in some places. Big sinkhole opened up in
Okay, fair.
further south, Sandpoint, I think.
Yes.
But I don't know,
Oh,
maybe
yes, that's
about a week ago or so, started happening again. Yeah, just I don't know. It's been weird ever since then. Just weird green flashes of light in the sky every so often. Hard to see in Riddleport because it's always so damn foggy, but nothing bad's happened. So, shrug.
Yep. Sorry about
He
that.
shrugs.
It'll all be over soon, I'm sure.
Sorry, my eye has suddenly gotten very itchy. But continue. Again, he doesn't seem that concerned. Not one of those doomsayers out on the streets.
That's good. They're never up to any good. I'll just wait here for my friends to come down, I think.
Yeah, suits me.
Get along any moment.
He picks back up his book and leans back in his chair. It sounds like Greshy has come out of his room and is looking for the others.
Trying to figure out where everyone is. Probably just come downstairs. That seems to be a good place to meet people.
Yes, I will look for my friends.
Okay. Yep, you find Gunn out in the main lobby area, and Asher comes down as well. Sorry, I'm cooling my eye. But continue.
Got a hot eye.
No, it
That's
just
hot
helps.
eye
That
spell.
happens.
It helps calm the itchiness. I don't know.
All right.
This happens every once in a while. Yeah.
I've gotten random itchy eye.
Oof.
Now I'm getting it. Watch it.
Uh-oh.
Contagious through the internet.
But no.
Did you two see that green whatever it was outside? It's gone already, but
Did see that.
I thought it was just pollution, but it's gone now.
I mean, it might be pollution from the way the sunlight hits when it starts to rise, but it's pretty high up in the sky
Yeah.
for that to be happening.
My opinion would be that we should not tarry too long in our task.
I mean, fair. We still need to figure out where we're going.
But since we're all here, I thought I would try and contact Shalelu again, and then I can tell you what she says. If she
Yes.
responds to us. Oh, it seems about 8 days have passed since we departed.
I think that's right. That seems about right.
I think so.
So no weird traveling into the distant past, some 2,000 years or anything.
No,
Okay,
be going for a second, but
I'll reassure on that. Well, yeah, if you want to get in touch with Shalelu, see how she is, that'd probably be good.
So
I'll
it
go
is
ahead and
just
pass.
after dawn
Tell her I
for
said
the
hi.
record.
oh, okay. Well, let's wait a little bit then.
I mean, you could wake her up, I suppose, but
Wake her up.
probably not.
She loves waking up early.
She an early riser?
She's a
I think
ranger.
generally she was when she was traveling with us.
Depends on her what she's up to, though. She may have.
She might not have as much reason to do right now.
Aye.
Yeah, I mean, you would know her to generally be an early riser, and yeah, she is a ranger. They tend to do that.
Still,
Circadian
having wasted
rhythms
the
are
last
perfect.
use, maybe I'll wait a little longer until closer to an honest breakfast time.
Okay. So the group of you exit the inn out onto the street. You guys are staying at let's see, pull up the map here. The inn you're staying at is right here, this orange building. I'll highlight it in green. There you go. And as you step out onto the road, you can see that a couple of carts are coming down the street to this heading southward to this building just next door, or they're all kind of lining up outside the building. There are a number of men in black hoods that are all standing outside the complex. It's some kind of complex building that has like an outer wall, some guard posts, and just black hooded dudes standing around outside.
Would I happen to know anything about what's going on there?
What lores do you have?
Warfare, but not anything local.
Okay. I would allow you to use your warfare lore roll for Riddleport.
I do
lore
have
as well.
Society training.
Okay. Yeah, society then.
And a background here. Okay. And those are the same value in any case. All right, I'll do a society and see if natural one. I don't pay
no
attention
idea,
to
but it looks like some kind of criminal operation, or perhaps they're doing some.
I know black hoods.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
It looks incredibly shady.
Well,
Just like the rest of this town.
does look a bit strange, but are they looking up at the sky at all? Do they seem perturbed by the recent event, or just standing about?
No, they're all just kind of standing around. A couple of them make their way over to the carts. One of them is clearly talking to one of the people who's on, directing the wagons, and they exchange some words. He then gets into the cart to clearly inspect some things inside. A couple of them turn and look at you all, staring at them.
I suppose I could walk over and ask them.
Oh,
where they're
I'm just
headed.
going to stare back. So
I was just gonna walk away. 3 different reactions completely.
Oh.
two going off in different directions, and Greshy just stares back into
One
the
of
abyss.
one of the ones watching you, kind of pulls back his black cloak a bit, and you can see he's got some kind of saber at his belt, and he's gripping it.
I'll raise my hand in a peaceful gesture. Oh there, no need for that. Just curious where you're setting off to.
He turns away from you, just completely ignoring you. Are you walking towards them? You guys are kind of across the street from them.
I was.
I'm not.
Yeah, if he was looking at us and I was looking at him, we probably would have clearly made contact and realized that we were addressing each other with that exchange.
Okay, But you are
But,
walking in his direction. But yeah, he just turns away from you.
Mighty rude. What does this compound look like? Does it have any kind of signage?
No, there doesn't appear to be any signage on it. It's just it's got kind of like stone bases along the fence, but the rest is made out of like some kind of really thick wood. It's a very flammable looking building, I suppose. But everything in Riddleport kind of is. Riddleport is very lumber heavy in terms of its construction.
But I could ask one more question.
Thank you, tabletop rules for the raid.
Rolling a 1 there would already preclude me from knowing about it. But if I thought back specifically,
you don't know what
to
this
all
building is. It's new to you. You've never.
If I think specifically about the merchants that we met at the merchant council, do these guys look like any of the men who were working for those, or is their uniform remind me of any of those?
It was a different mercenary group that you saw, and this isn't a mercenary group that you're familiar with, if it is one.
Right.
They don't seem to be
But
mercenaries.
the merchants themselves all had. The merchants themselves all had. They didn't have guards with them, but they had pretty distinct styles.
Oh, sure.
Based on what they were.
Yeah, you don't remember any of them dressing in all black like this, no?
Okay. Well, I think I could just kind of casually approach and be like, we're actually searching for a party of dwarves who are in town from Ogletuld.
One of them turns around to look at you. This guy is a little bit taller than you, pretty beefed out, fairly thickly muscled, but extremely pale. And he just he's also like completely bald, a hairless man. He just kind of grunts in your direction. This isn't the place to be asking for directions. He says with a grumble. Take your business elsewhere. It
could be business indeed if we could find them. They might need guards if they're exploring, we thought.
If you want guards, take it up with a mercenary guild.
If I've got the wrong party, then that's all right.
It better be all right, he says, and he turns and makes his way over to one of the wagons to help someone out, like lifting a box out of it. A crate, rather.
Anything, last question, anything at all distinctive about the wagons that I could take note of to recognize them later?
And they're fairly plain wagons. They don't seem to have any insignias visible on them. You can give me a perception check.
Sure. How many wagons are we talking about, and how many like horses hooked up to them? That could tell you how much stuff is in them.
That was you just rolled Rock's perception.
Oh, well.
Wow, Rock.
Let's see, his is better than mine, actually.
Rock, off in the distance, spots a squirrel.
Actually, it's by 1, so 34. His is only 1 off from mine.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you do a quick count of the wagons. There were 3 when you approached. 2 more have shown up. They're all fairly plain. Each one is they are like covered wagon carts. Each one has a driver. Some of them have 2 drivers. though the second driver seems to be maybe more of like an assistant who is clearly like getting out and helping offload whatever these boxes contain or crates.
So they're unloading. Oh,
Yes, they're unloading things in front of this, whatever this building is. Maybe it's some kind of manor.
like
You
a
can't really
bank,
see
and they're
inside.
an armed caravan, I'm sure that
Yeah,
it's
it's what
effectively
it
an
seems
armored
like.
truck.
Yeah. It is a caravan of
Yeah,
armored
okay.
trucks, effectively. But they're very quickly unloading things, unloading these crates and taking them into this compound through the main gates, while armed guards stand on the inside of the gates.
Super suspicious and shady, but nothing we can do about it. This doesn't seem like a...
Whole town is suspicious and shady.
Exactly.
Everywhere you look, suspicion and shade.
So maybe we should start looking for these for the party of dwarves that seem to know where the city is.
Sure, we can look around if you want. I was just going to see if there was any other information. But if you want to find the dwarves, you go right ahead.
Shall we split up to do that or stick together? We could meet back here. Or we could meet at the that collector's shop around sometime shortly after.
Greshy will pull up the hood on his cloak and try to blend a little bit. If you want to go looking for dwarves together, we can do that. But you do the talking.
We're all
right,
humans
that works for
here.
me. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Greshy pulls up his hood, which magically makes him more inconspicuous, and just kind of you just kind of follow behind in the background. Is Phelan full size while you're doing this, or?
I'll go ahead and shrink him down and tuck him into. I'll put him into our bag of containment.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and cast air bubble on it while I'm at it.
All right. You put Phelan into the bag, or he kind of hops into the bag, and yeah, Gunn, Asher, and whoever that third person is make their way around town to learn about dwarves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ogle tunes.
If you're gonna go ahead and try and gather information, unless you had a specific place or thing you were trying to do, you can go ahead and roll diplomacy to gather information. It takes 2 hours by default. And we'll see what you find.
I'll roll my diplomacy and not rocks.
That'll work better, I imagine. Oh, that was almost not one on the digital
It
dice.
was. I was like, no.
I'll let you two take care of it. I'm just going to.
And get a 40.
I got a 38.
Okay, yeah, 38 and 40. Pretty good. Let's see. I guess what are you asking, or what are you trying to learn, each of you?
We're trying to actually locate them so we can go meet them. We think they're in town. We think they might be recruiting caravaneers or
Okay,
about
so
to make a
you're-
journey.
So you're asking about those specific dwarves themselves and their recruitment methods or something along those lines. Asher, what are you same topic or different topic?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is basically
Okay.
like, has anyone seen them? Where are they? We have to ask them stuff.
Okay. Also, I knew what my DC was.
We look pretty together, so I think if we were to be recruited to join their caravan,
Okay, so neither of these is a critical success, but they are both
They
successes.
would be interested.
Alright. So you guys make your way around asking about any dwarves that might have come to town. You check in with a couple of different mercenary guilds and hiring houses where you can like kind of pick up parties of adventurers. There's a lot of people don't seem to know what you're talking about or mention other dwarves that aren't related. But a couple of people do actually seem to recall having met some interesting group of dwarves about a year ago. You hear tale of these sorry, I need to make sure I have my is this the right page? Yes, okay. Yeah, you hear tale of them arriving in town sometime around this time last year, maybe sometime during the winter. And they had with them a rather large amount of gold. A very suspiciously large amount of gold. And a couple of the basically the guild managers that you talk to express their doubt of the authenticity of the gold. Or not the authenticity of the gold itself. They checked the gold; it was real gold. But the legitimacy of how this gold was obtained. Mm-hmm. These two dwarves were they one of the merchants or guild leaders specifically remembers them being brothers. That were doing most of the talking, and that they had some kind of small company of dwarves already assembled, and that they were looking for both group like an adventurer group to like aid them and protect them, as well as just more additional hands for mining. Or not mining, rather, but scavenging. They spoke of a city covered in gold as far as the eye could see, streets paved with ancient gold coins. One even still has one of the gold coins and shows it to you. This gold coin is very old, and depicts on the front the Rune of Greed. So pretty directly evidence that this probably came from Zinshalast. Though the person who you're speaking to doesn't know anything about it. They just say that they were offered this piece of gold as proof. And to try and like sweeten a deal for supplies, which they had given them. They gave them enough supplies for 12 people. This one's just like a general store that you're talking to, that you heard that they went to. They supplied them with lots of hiking gear, cold weather clothing, tons of rations, and just general like hiking equipment for a journey through the mountains. That's a lot of what you find out, Gunn. Asher, well, you're asking around at a lot of the same places right nearby, pubs and things, and one of the places that you hear that they went drinking at was the Publican House, which is actually it's kind of half bar, half temple. It is a temple to Caden Kalen, the god of adventurers and drunkenness and courage. Yes. So his temples often have this very pub-like feel to them, and often house very, very rowdy, raucous adventurers. They apparently stayed there multiple times in an attempt to recruit some followers of Caden Kalen to their trek. But when you arrive and talk to some of the priests, they regale you with drunken tales of not really believing that those dwarves were up to any good, or that they were worth helping out. He got like a kind of slimy sensation from them based on how they were kind of bandying their gold about. And another of the clerics in a kind of wakes up from his morning blackout and just kind of groans out they often frequented the Golden Goblin back when that was still popular. And the other priest says, oh yeah, they did. They did like to be really loose with all that treasure they were carrying about. It can be a fun place, but you should stay clear. It's probably going to be condemned soon. And another patron speaks up and says, condemned? I thought that Silas guy was about to buy the place up. And they kind of banter back and forth about some man named Silas and how he was planning on buying up the Golden Goblin and turning it back into a proper casino again. Let's see. The other bit of information that you learn is that they did eventually manage to get a group of adventurers. Sorry, I'm processing my own words in my head.
No worries.
They managed to recruit a group of adventurers plus a squad of additional dwarves to join their cause. And they were only in town for... they had arrived in town about a year ago and were only in town for about a month or two, maybe, before they seemed to leave. And head off on their trek. The guild people that you talk to do point at the group that had hired them, or that they had hired as adventurers, was the forgetting the name.
Yeah, fuck. That's a weird name.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
The Fanged Serpent mercenary group, who their quarters are, or their headquarters is in the very south part of town, in the kind of slummy district.
After they left, were they ever seen around here again?
No, I'm
Sounds like they
afraid
didn't
not.
return with any.
As far as she remembers, they never turned up again. But you'd have to go. She says you'd have to go talk to the Fanged Serpent to ask them whether or
Yeah, I
not their
think
adventurers came back.
That's what I was thinking to do next.
But yeah, that's what you get after about 2 hours of kind of wandering the city, asking around about these dwarves and what they were up to.
Well,
Okay.
after a further 2 hours, it's probably safe to go ahead and place that call.
I should hope she'd be up by now. Aye.
So I think I would pretty much just repeat the same message to Shalelu, except instead of saying, "What day is it?" I would say, and that we had just come out, I would say we're in Riddleport. And that the green sky is ominous.
So you're going to need to repeat the message for me. I don't have it memorized.
I'll have to go find it. Oh, actually, I did find it. So I'll say we're back safe in Riddleport. Fought many mad wizards. Karzug knows coming. Have weapons against him. Clue to location. We search dwarf party. Dwarf caravan? That works.
Okay, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess just while you're out on the street, you cast this sending, and you close your eyes and you mouth the words, and feel a mental connection to the target Shalelu that you are well familiar with. And it takes a moment, but you feel a message start to come back to you in her familiar voice in your head. Oh, thank the gods. Desna has brought you back safe. Razorhorn escaped into Linorm King's domain with Capal in Crying Leaf. And the leaf kind of gets cut off.
Oh, she's nearby. Shalelu is in Crying Leaf. She has Capal.
Oh, good. She did take a ball.
Good. He's not dead.
Razorhorn has escaped to the north.
That's all right.
How far north?
Unknown. Where's the Linorm Kings?
Oh,
It's
that's
just an arrow
maps.
pointing north for that.
that's quite
Land
far.
of the Linorm
Aye.
Kings.
Yeah, Land of the Linorm Kings is very far
Oh.
north. The Linorms, I think
Northwest
I think I mistakenly said what the Linorms were before. They're other dragons. They're a type of dragon.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
They're like really old dragons or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Northwest from the cave where we were.
Yes, northwest from Rhymeskull
So
is where he seemed to go.
we may end up
And
in those lands
Shalelu,
as part of
I
this.
can't
but
show it on stream exactly, but she's off here to the
I thought
west.
Crying Leaf was over by the Miriani Forest.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought
it's this
Crying Leaf was
X. I think
northwest.
it's the X right here.
Yeah. That sounds right.
I believe that's
it's
correct.
not very far from Riddleport.
I mean, not very far for us, I suppose, but it's still a bit of a trek. That's a day's travel easily with our magic flying.
What about by Tree Stride?
We'd have to leave all of our fancy bags behind, but could do.
Pop over for a day trip.
Oh yeah.
And I can also only take myself, technically. But could do.
But due to entrust her with some of these things that we've recovered, I think perhaps we could ask her to bring those mithril armors that we found back to Sandpoint next time she goes there. And perhaps she would like to have this this dragon scale bow that we found in Razorhorn's hoard, if that's okay with everybody.
Sure. Fine by me. Unless anyone else wants to use a bow.
I really have no interest in bows.
I was using it as a backup weapon, but at this point, I think the time it takes to switch weapons is worse off than just using some of my magics. So, yeah, I don't have a use for it. I don't think.
I would say if she wants to make her way here, we could meet her along the way or something, perhaps, or...
It's true, too.
Otherwise, we can always meet her there tomorrow, perhaps, if we want to continue asking around tonight.
She has the dagger, so perhaps she will send us another message to which I will be able to reply. If so, should I tell her to travel here, even though it means about 3-4 days?
My only concern is how is she going to get all of the armor back to Sandpoint on her own? That's going to weigh down a bit.
Not really. It's quite light.
Well, not light enough for one person to carry. How many do we have?
5 sets.
5 sets? Plus whatever else she's got.
And, I mean, a pack mule could do it.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying we may want to plan this out a bit more.
Indeed.
But if she wants to make her way over here, we can meet her or we can fly to her, whichever is fine.
If she's going to send us a message back, she'll probably do it soon, I would have to reply immediately.
Oh.
So
that's assuming she wants to talk to us.
What should we say if she does?
Keep Kapal safe.
That will, yeah.
That's what's important, is keep Kapal safe, and we can bring her and herself. Of course, I thought that was implied. The assumption is she can definitely keep herself safe, but she's got to protect the horse. The horse can't.
Paul doesn't have thumbs. Cannot keep himself safe without those.
We would not be giving him a fancy bow. But we can meet her there tomorrow on our way to wherever, if we can figure out wherever is.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll say that we'll message again and may visit briefly.
Assuming she calls us.
Yeah.
If not, then we'll call her tomorrow morning and see where she's at, and if she's still there, we'll advise her to stay there if she's still there, and if not, we'll figure it out from that.
Yep. Sounds good.
In the meantime, Golden Goblin, or are we going to check out these Fanged Serpent mercenary folk?
King Serpent seems like more of a lead.
Agreed.
All right. Not excited to go gambling or nothing, especially since I don't think it's open yet, but...
Are you a gambling person, Greshy?
I've made that mistake before.
Ooh.
There's a reason I was homeless for quite a while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Take the silence as you're making your... Are you going towards the Fanged Serpent's HQ?
If we can figure out where it is, that's the plan.
Okay.
I assume somebody gave us directions.
Yeah, while you were gathering information, you were able to get directions. And make your way through... what do I actually call this district?
Gunn was somewhat of a mercenary fanboy when he lived in this area, so he probably knows all the major companies.
Yeah, you've definitely heard of them before. They are a staple of the area. If you wanted to do a military warfare lore check, you can.
Yeah, I'll try military lore this time since society
Society failed
clearly
you.
not my thing.
Lore also reduces the DC by 5, so.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, that's a 25.
25. Okay. Yeah, you're pretty familiar with this company. You know they have a reputation for being a little bit more what's the right word? Risk tolerant, I suppose. Or they're for a mercenary guild, they often took on very risky jobs. They were very high risk, high reward type group that would more often than not would take up contracts that would end up costing them lots of money, but managed to keep themselves going by the rare stroke of amazing luck that they had. And that's a big reason why they're still around, is just those handful of like really amazing jobs to go after thieves or protect rare artifacts or whatever jobs they take on. They sometimes just manage to hit it really, really rich. But they do situate themselves.
Yeah, if they take those high risk.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If they take those high risk jobs like this City of Gold type thing, then the individual members might not last all that long, but those that do get lucky will be set.
Yeah, they tend to have right, this is called the Rotgut district. They do tend to have their higher up members have been part of the group for a very long time, and the low level members are very, very quickly cycled through as they get chewed up by many of the missions that people end up getting sent on.
Not a great sign there, but
No, not really. But
terrible benefits.
if if a low-level mercenary with them survives, they do manage to often just leave the mercenary group and with a shitload of money as a result. It's just whether or not you can survive those 1 or 2 missions. But yeah, you make your way through the Rotgut district. It's pretty bad. There's a kind of just constant foul smell in the air, whether that's from the feces on the ground or the scents wafting up through the harbor is unclear. There are a number of very dilapidated looking buildings, all made of wood, but many of them have rotted to the core. Some barely seem to be able to stand and are kind of propped up with additional pieces of spare lumber that have been kind of loosely, just nailed up to or leaned up against other buildings. But you make your way far to the south, and you see up on the hillside is a simple singular compound. It's kind of like one big building made of wood with a couple of small kind of outpost buildings surrounding it. They have a loose kind of like knee-high wooden fence, and behind it in the distance you can see what looks like a kind of ruined ruined stone tower. Very, very similar to the old light, actually, in Sandpoint. But it's kind of like up on the not it's not quite a mountain, but up at like the kind of the peak of the hill is the is this old like look-alike tower, just a big ruined stone tower. So it's a kind of nice juxtaposition of this building and that tower in the distance. It feels very Sandpoint to you. And then off to your right, you can see the starting, the beginning of the massive arch of the Cipher Gate. It's huge Thessalonian runes spreading off to the other side of the city. There are a couple of guys outside in loose-fitting leather armor. Two of them are sparring. One of them is just sitting in the grass outside the compound, playing cards with himself.
All right. Well, maybe we can. Let's see. If we want to hear the story of a particular mission that they went on a year ago, or most of a year ago, then probably best ask for their records company or records keeper, or a captain that we can talk to. So I guess I would not necessarily worry about the folks who are sitting outside, but is there an office that we could approach?
Yeah, there seems to be like there are a couple entrances to the place, but there seems to be kind of one main entrance off of the path. You can see a wooden sign above the door. It doesn't say anything, but it is two snakes coiled up with each other. One of them bearing down its fangs into the other. And it has like kind of massive, like oversized fangs, while the other seems just largely helpless. And it's kind of loosely painted in silver.
Yeah, that jives with their whole vibe, I guess.
Deal there.
Yeah, the people outside don't seem to stop you. The guy playing cards looks up at you briefly and then just goes back to what he's doing. The two who are sparring don't
knock
even
on the door, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, you give it a quick knock. It's only a moment before someone comes up to the door. It is an elven woman with kind of like walnut-colored skin. She's got very large, thick-rimmed glasses, but is wearing some kind of... I guess she's wearing like chainmail, basically. Chainmail armor outfit. Are you adventurers here to sign up? Just come this way.
Not exactly.
She stops. She was like turning to walk away from you and stops and... Sorry. Why are you here then?
I was hoping someone could tell us the story of a mission some months ago where there was a party of dwarves who were...
I'm sorry. We don't
hiring,
really talk about missions with strangers.
Well, I'm looking for any of your soldiers who would have gone on that mission, who could talk about what they saw.
She kind of narrows her eyes.
For a sum.
Give me a
Give her my
diplomacy
best
check.
winning smile and diplomacy check, yeah. Alright. To seem very earnest and not at all accusatory. On 35.
35. I don't keep this away. Should not put it away. My handy dandy DC chart. 35? Okay. Her suspicion kind of subsides a bit. And she goes from being neutral to being somewhat friendly. If coin's involved, then I suppose I have time to at least hear you out. Why don't you come in, and we can discuss this inside. And your friends can come in too, I guess.
Thank you.
And she'll lead the group of you inside. Or she allows you to come in past her, and she almost closes the door on Greshy, not really realizing that he's there. Sorry, didn't notice you. Come this way.
It's fine. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's cloak.
She leads you into a kind of a closed office space, where she takes a seat at her desk, and puts her boots up on the desktop, and leans back and my name's Rose. Who might I be dealing with today?
Oh, my name is Gunn, Shough. And these are my friends, Asher Ford and Greshy Ironroot. And we are...
Lovely to meet you.
We were hoping to track down what became of an expedition who had hired some of your troops to guard them last year. They left the town heading north into the mountains. A group of dwarven caravanners looking for gold. Well, having found gold, but trying to bring it back. And they weren't heard from again thereafter. So I imagine your troops might have fallen with them.
Well, that does sound kind of familiar. She kind of thinks for a moment.
Or if they were able to escape and make their way back here, if they could tell the tale of what happened, then...
Or even contracts or agreements that might have said whereabouts they were heading to.
If they can divulge those details, yeah.
You know, I've had this issue lately where it's really hard to remember things without gold in my hand. You mentioned some kind of payment.
There she plunks 10 gold down on the table.
Thank you very much. And she slides it over to herself and picks up a coin, tries to bend it a bit. This one's a bit old looking, but legit. I think I feel my memory coming back to me already. And she starts just kind of playing with the coin between her fingers. Yep, we did have a mission like that. You're right, it was about a year ago. Not sure who you heard this from, but your sources seem to be reliable enough. I was here when that job was taken up. Our old boss decided to go along with it. He's dead now, but as you can see, I'm the new captain. And I
Congratulations
more or less
on your
remember
advancement.
Is
that the mission where he perished?
Oh, no, I didn't mean to imply that he went on the mission, just that he agreed to send a group out on it. He died 2 months ago.
Okay.
Sailing accident. she says with a little bit of a wink.
Of course.
But
Known to happen.
of course,
Dangerous waters.
when you sail as much as he does. But yes, she gets her feet off of the desk and sits upright. There were a bunch of them, those dwarves. They came in here with quite the interesting proposal. You're right, they said they found some kind of city of gold, all the way up in the Codar Mountains. It was quite the unbelievable tale, but some of the things they brought back were certainly quite stunning. It was hard for our old boss to say no. I was there in the room with him. Those things looked pretty real.
I assure you they were.
Oh. Have you come here to try recruiting a second group, perhaps?
Oh, what's no? You wouldn't survive.
No,
Well-
I imagine I wouldn't. She concurs with you. Well, certainly the group that we sent out never came back, and we tried asking some priests to contact them with spells, but nothing ever reached them. Yeah, it doesn't. I certainly wouldn't try to go following their footsteps anytime soon.
Anyone
Oh, go ahead.
personally important to you in that group? If we did have cause to ever come across the results of that expedition, we could maybe collect some personal effects or something of that nature.
She shrugs. No, mostly a bunch of greenhorns. Couple. She thinks a moment. There were, about 4 new recruits and one of the other lieutenants. But he was kind of an asshole. Like I said, I like Coin. To him, Coin was something on a different level entirely.
The
If he's
temptation of
dead,
the whole
then-
city must have.
I don't think the world's any worse off with him gone.
Did he have a name, this fellow? And I'll get out some more. Another 10 coins, 10 gold.
These coins are certainly helping me remember that name. As much as I'd like to forget it, she kind of grumbles to herself. He called himself the Shadow, but his real name was Robert Kirkmeyer.
Wow, that's quite the ego.
Human male.
Nickname's better than his real name, though.
It is.
That's what he'd like you to think.
I have a name is Robert.
Robert Kirkmeyer.
Human male, kind of tall and lanky, short black hair, dressed in all black all the time. He was incredibly insufferable to be around, trust me.
All black all the time. Like those ninja
I can imagine.
people.
I've known a few.
But he was
That like
all talk and no skill, in my opinion, and that's probably why he didn't make it. But in any event, I don't imagine we'd be sending any follow-up missions out there. You guys do seem pretty interested in what they were up to. But I think what I've forgotten is probably worth much more than that. Or more than this, rather, and she kind of gestures at the gold that's on the table. I'd say about 1,000 gold should spark that memory. I think you'd like it for what it's worth.
That's a
Is she just playing us for fools at this point, or does she actually have information?
That's a price that's not gonna come.
I don't know if I can do some sort of insight check
Yeah,
to
you can do a perception check.
kind of try and read her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's performance. Ignore that. that's a good roll, but
I'll let you keep the 19. What's the modifier?
the modifier was 24, so it'd actually be a 43.
Okay,
Said it was 33.
Okay, you're watching her
Third of the P.
her movements through this. She seems to think she has some kind of really important information, maybe. She doesn't, like, you can tell, you actually can kind of see, like, the beads of sweat forming on her brow. She does seem, like, genuinely nervous and perhaps scared around the group of you. She can tell that she's outmatched, and she's like very desperately trying to play it cool here. But she is certainly worried that this very obvious holy man is here to like entrap her somehow.
Oh. Lass,
I don't know if 1,000 gold is something we're willing to put out for the kinds of things that you're up to here.
yeah, I think we may end up just finding our own way at that. I think the monies of that amount would be better used by the folks who are actually.
Do you
The
think
church
she
actually could
paid
make
her
great use of it, in
taxes?
fact. I don't know if they do taxes here in Riddleport properly.
No, what I was going to say is that
Have you paid your taxes after all, man?
All the taxes that I'm owed, or that I owe, rather.
Including the money that we just gave you. And however many
no.
whatever else money that comes in the same way.
Greshy, let's be polite here. We're asking quite a lot of her.
Greshy pulls his hood down.
Impolite.
This is a family matter. I'm looking for my family.
She kind of shakes her head for a moment, like blinks her eyes a couple of times as the illusion kind of wears off. Wait, who are you?
Oh. The
Greshy will go too.
Greshy. He has a last name now.
She blinks at you again. Oh, I see.
I have no problem with you sending my family off to die, but I'd at least like to know where the remains are, so I can put them to rest properly.
Oh, she seems a bit ashamed and kind of turns away from you and stands up. I'm
definitely
sorry, I didn't realize that this was. And she makes her way over to a cabinet behind her and inserts it, like pulls a key from her pocket, slips it in.
It's all right,
the lock.
ma'am. It's all right.
No, it's. I'm sorry.
You're
I didn't
taking
realize
care
this
of
was
your own.
such an
We
important
understand.
matter. She.
No, you're taking care of your own. We understand.
She unlocks and opens the cabinet, and starts like kind of rifling through some documents until she finds a scroll case. She slides it out of the cabinet, closes the cabinet back up, locks it again, and then places the scroll case on the table. Here, if it's that important to you, and she kind of slides it across the table towards Greshy. We have
I'll take it.
We didn't want to take the job without knowing where we were going, so we had them draw up a map of sorts. They were very, how to put it, untrusting. They didn't want us to kill them off and go get the treasure ourselves, so they only agreed to show us part of the way, but...
Can't imagine why they would think of that.
I'll put a further 30 gold on the table, making 50 altogether. And thank the lady for her time.
Oh, no, sorry, the pleasure's all mine.
Well, I appreciate it nonetheless. Again, if there's any remains you would like us to look for your folk, we'll find them.
No, don't trouble yourself over us. Now is...
Greshy puts the hood back up.
Yes, you've been more than helpful.
If you
Take care of
need
your
anything
greenhorns,
else,
they'll,
let me know.
You'll find some gems every now and then.
She nods and stands up. Oh, you know where to find me.
And we'll do the same.
Greshy takes the scroll and walks out.
I'll follow.
I don't linger either. I don't. Now I'm like, ooh. Greshy's last name is an Ironroot. I've had
Greshy,
two
that
last
was-
names too.
Well, I mean, I guess that makes 3 of us.
Oh yeah.
Assuming that that was all legit and not just for... Because Greshy did seem quite more emotional than I've ever really seen him.
What are you talking about? Humans can't tell the difference between one dwarf and the next. It's fine.
Ooh.
In that case, we'll be sure to find them.
Okay.
What do I
You guys
care? They're
have-
dead.
You guys have made your way out of the building and are walking.
Yeah,
I
away
guess you're
from
going
the-
back towards the slums, or are you just standing around outside?
Back to the inn, I suppose, someplace where people won't be overlooking at the map, just in case we get stragglers following us. I don't know how many
Yeah, that
ears
seems
there
like
are
a
in the
good-
city, but
seems like a
if
good
it's anything
priority.
like Magnamar, it's going to be all sorts of people listening in, no matter where we are.
Every single person in this party had a secret identity. Secret backstory.
Well, I didn't actually. My one last name is my last name, but I also had another last name.
I'm kind of in the
Both
same boat as
real.
Asher. This is the name I chose, not the name that was given me.
Mommy and Daddy divorced, and it was real bad. I did not take Daddy's last name.
Seems reasonable.
That is Asher's story.
All right. Well, you guys kind of discuss a little bit on your way back to the inn, but decide to keep it a little bit hush-hush and not pull out the map until you get back to one of your rooms. I assume you just go up. You enter the inn. The innkeeper is nowhere to be seen at the moment, but you just head straight to... I'll just randomly pick Greshy's room and close the door behind you. Make sure the window is closed and the curtains are drawn. You light the candles. Maybe you do this in a different order so that it's actually light in the room when you close the curtains, but...
That might be beneficial.
Okay, what do you guys...
We'll take a look and see if we can
Stuff.
scout out where the map takes us. Well, So up into the Codar Mountains, is that where it said?
So you open up the scroll case and pull out what is a furled piece of parchment, or it's actually two pieces of parchment. One is a work order from a Silas Ogletude. Sorry, Olgatold. Olgatold? How do you pronounce it?
Ogletuld.
Olgatold.
Ogletuld.
There we go. Ogletude.
Yeah.
Ogletude. This is now the Ogletude podcast. Thank you.
Just repeat that word over and over again.
Olgatold.
But sorry, it's a Silas Ogletude. Fuck, I'm gonna... my mouth can't move properly. But it's a Silas O. And it lists an amount of equipment as well as a number of expedition members. He's listed as the expedition leader. The other names listed are a Karavek, Torvik, Ludol, Goswin, Jerol, Berta, Yanda, Alma, Guzdam, Urik, and Egon.
If you want to write those names out someplace else, I didn't catch them all.
Yes, I can.
Also not sure how relevant they're going to be, but
Eric.
Karavek, Lordek, Tuval, Berta, Yanda, Alma, Guzdam, Eric. I don't know. Some of them I might have missed up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Got
can.
Egon.
I'm typing them over here. Type.
Tippity tap.
Alright, I've typed them in Roll20.
Well, I spelled that name wrong. Whoops.
Those are all the expedition employees of Ogletude Trading Company. The second piece of parchment is it is a kind of roughly drawn map of the Codar region. Did I actually... I probably should have put this in Roll20, but I realize now that I did not, so I'll describe to you the map and show you the actual detailed map later.
Alright.
I can kind of show you on the main map. Let's see. Map view. Verizia map.
Where are the Codar Mountains?
Codar Mountains. Ah, actually.
Oh, they're all the way over there.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the Codar Mountains are all the way in the northeast. There are a number of rivers that lead into the Codar Mountains. And they're... Let's see. So
What kind of town?
the Kazaron River is the southernmost river. That's the one that kind of goes into the region there. Let's see. Hey, I'll just move the map. That works. It then splits. So the Kazaron River continues like so. And there's a branch river that flows into it. This one here, the second river on the on the east. That river is unnamed. on if you have your own like your map of the world or of the region. Those I guess the names you see here are the names that would be listed on your map: the Kazaron River and the Stalak River. But the other rivers up here are not actually named. The path that appears to have been followed. So they've got a kind of rough path that they've gone through. They seem to come up through the mountains into the north, took the eastern split, and then the western split of this river, and followed it along some ways. And there's a listed like camp / outpost about here, about halfway up the river. This is listed as their like meetup point, or outpost. I guess it's listed there on the map as Ogletold Outpost, and that's where the directions stop. And you can see if you flip the map over on the back, it says if you decide to if you agree to additional support, please send them to our outpost camp within the coming months, and give us a sending to let us know they're on their way, and we will lead them to the city. And it is this is signed Karavek.
Well, we have a destination at least. It's quite a distance, though. We're going to be traveling many days, even flying that direction.
Mm-hmm. With some names, we can also attempt to contact them with sending.
Oh, I'm sure they're dead by now, but we can try if you'd like.
Maybe someone on this list escaped.
I suppose, but how many times can you try sending per day? Just once, right?
Just once for me, but if we have that many days while we're traveling, we could go down the list.
That's true. And it's what? Well, 160 if we go as the crow flies. Jacob, so 180 would be about 4 days.
Yeah, the rough location
It'd be
of the
108
camp is about 400,
3,200, 4,800. So 3-ish days, maybe 4 if we want to play it safe.
Mm-hmm. Shalelu's dagger has another.
Aye, but I was going to leave
day.
that with her unless you want to take it back.
Sure.
It's kind of rude to take things back from someone you give them as gift.
No, but we could ask her to use it and then contact us if she's able to reach any of them.
Suppose
Names
so.
on the list.
Does she even know how that dagger works?
I imagine she could figure it out.
I believe you
Has she
explained
sent
it
us?
to her.
Right, but has she actually sent us anything since we gave it
Not
to her?
that I've seen, no. But we asked her to use it every day, but then we were gone every of those days.
Sure, so she probably gave up at some point.
I hope not. She's sending it to me.
Maybe she was worried that it wasn't working and she just gave up. Well, regardless.
I wouldn't give up. Now I'm offended.
Understandably.
Let's see. We can also, now that we know the region we're looking for, can we overlap this with any of the maps that we recovered? Or did we just review some maps, or didn't we make copies of something? that
While you
showed
were in
where Zinchalas and all
while you were in Jorgenfist, you reviewed some of the books that had some like really old maps.
Yeah, and we made notes about where the towers were. We have we also have
The tower notes.
Um,
Sorry, your notes about where the
Mokmirian's maps.
yeah, Mokmirian's map was an actual modern day map that he had
Mhm.
that he drew.
That was marked up with just these.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
that was a separate.
imagine
thing.
the region would be
other-
much different than what it was back then.
Mhm.
Yeah, the other maps that you had, that you, if anybody has any copies of them, it would be Asher who would have drawn some like loose attempts at copying them. But I mean, they're like those like really old, not to scale kind of region maps,
Right.
where they've got like, I don't know, a big picture of a dragon and says Zinshalas, and it's like a huge region. Like they're not to scale, and they're not super.
That's fair. With enough landmarks,
detailed.
if we could find enough landmarks, I thought we might be able to.
The landmarks that you are aware of already
Narrow
were
in.
the River of Va, and which I believe has been mentioned before, and the tallest mountain in the world, Mahar Masif.
Right.
Which supposedly Mount Mahar Masif has the face of Zin or Jin carved into its peak.
Right.
So we just find that mountain amongst the other mountains in the Codar Mountains, and I'm sure we'll be fine.
How hard can it be?
To find the tallest mountain?
Amongst many mountains, shouldn't be too hard.
Well, that's what you would think, but you've never. So none of you have ever heard of this mountain existing.
Oh,
And,
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay, sorry.
Maybe it's the shortest mountain now.
It is still the tallest
There-
mountain. Not too hard. If it is not,
yes,
then
if it
Bloodguard.
is still the tallest mountain, but none of your no map has ever listed any mountain in the Codar Mountains as being like the tallest mountain in the world. And you would think somebody would have noticed if they had done any kind of mapping of that region. Like
Mhm.
if a mountain was as big as it seems like it should be, that's like some Everest stuff. Like you should be able to see it from the Storval Plateau, and nobody has ever made mention of this mountain.
Didn't Sarah say something about having difficulty getting into Zinshalast or something?
He did mention
The mountains within Mar Massif's shadow are altered in some way that defines reason. So perhaps it's being magically shrouded or something, which is why nobody would have noticed it.
That could be. I was just
What?
thinking that maybe it got deleted by Earthfall.
Also possible. Which means that our major landmark is no longer there, which...
But it might be a different major landmark. So if we also find a particularly massive crater or something like that, that could be a good sign as well.
See the mountain when Greshy was scrying?
I think there was a mountain, actually.
I think we saw the coin road.
We
I
did
thought
see
we
the
did.
coin road. We definitely saw the road of coins, and a lot of other things were made of gold at the same time as well. It was definitely in the mountains. It was very snowy.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't really care about finding this camp, but that might actually be our best lead.
Yeah.
They may have had left notes behind or something that will help lead us further, or perhaps just going along the same route will reveal itself.
Certainly.
So shall we plan for that then tomorrow, or do we want to wait and talk to Shalelu first?
Yeah, I think maybe 2 days to depart would be my suggestion. So we could do one more communication tomorrow and then one as we're leaving.
I'll prepare Windwalk for tomorrow in case we wanted to go
Fair.
meet up with her ourselves, and then we can drop off the armor or whatever, maybe give her some funds for a pack animal to haul them around, ask her to make her way to Sandpoint and keep them safe? Question mark? I don't know.
Yep. And then today we can search for, we can try to sell some of these artifacts that we found and maybe finance this endeavor. Go searching for some things that are more directly useful to our quest.
We'll see what we can sell off then. Do they have beer at this inn? Or something heavier than that?
The inn does not have any food or drink. By the time you're back, he's got there's a tray of muffins and a little bowl that's been left on the floor that's filled with some meat from the butcher.
Well, I'll let Phelan out and he can feed for a bit. How far is the publican house from here? Because I'm going to go get something to drink.
Good question. I don't think it's very far. Let me... Publican
Let's back to the other map.
I didn't mark up the map, but it's there.
Imagining it's one of these big places here. Maybe this one or that one. Don't think it's Coliseum sort of deal here, but perhaps.
No, it's you have to take one of the ferries to get to it, but it is.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the river. It's right here.
Oh, okay.
This building.
I see.
I can't.
Not on
I'm
the
trying to
island
ping
there.
it, but yeah, that one.
That's fair.
I'm on ruler mode.
It was as big as I would have expected, but
I mean, it's a pretty big
That's
building,
fair.
but
it is. But I was expecting one of these giant ones. Because it's
no.
sort of a pseudo temple, but
Yeah, I mean
that's fine.
A local tavern that also doubles as a temple. But yeah,
Well.
you can make your way down the street, and then to one of the ferries, and they just have it's just a copper to take the ferry across, and it's just like a small boat, like single person boat. They just row you across to the other side.
I'm just imagining Greshy being like, "No thanks," and then he starts glowing and shooting lightning bolts and flies across the river.
You can if you want.
I don't think I could get quite. Can I get across in a minute? Because I would, but I don't
There he
think I'm going to be able to
goes.
quite make it that far.
Oh, I didn't put.
It's 8.9 squares.
Let me. Can I measure this? To cross the river, something like that. It's
That's my speed. I'm at 25.
It's
So I go
about 200
75
feet.
around.
It's like
I could
200
actually make
feet
that in a
across the
minute.
river.
Then I'll just fly across. Save myself the copper, I suppose.
Okay,
Once
yeah,
Phelan's
you-
had his fill, I'm going to take off and go to the publican house.
All right. Yeah, you make your way out
Place
onto
of
the
worship.
streets with Phelan, and then get to the wharf. You see the prices for the small ferries to go across, and you're just like, and just fly over.
Support local business? Nah.
Long.
Give 100
Thirsty.
gold to the mercenary captain. Yes. Give money to.
I did not give 100
starving
gold. I gave
workers.
10. However, I'd be happy to contribute 100 gold to the Church of Cade and Kalen in exchange for lots of booze.
A
All right,
donation
well-
with a gift.
Yeah, you make your way back to the publican house. You guys had been there briefly earlier in the day, but seeing it, you decided that you'd like to actually spend some time there and get to know it a little bit better.
Up close and personal.
So, Greshy, you spend the rest of your morning there in the... I guess it's probably around noon now, so you spend some of the afternoon there.
I was going to say morning. I'm probably spending the rest of the day here.
Okay. Greshy is lost to the world.
I'll let the other two do the responsible things.
That lends a lot
Greshy
of
seems
credence to the theory that
sad.
Greshy is actually sad.
Greshy seems sad, Gunn. What should we do? I feel like we shouldn't disturb him while he's drinking.
Probably a good idea.
We should do something nice
Let
for
him deal with
Greshy.
his self as he sees fit, and then I'm sure he'll be ready to set out when we are, and we can support him as we go.
We should buy him another dog. So he has 2 dogs.
Hmm.
Since Phelan makes him so happy.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
Oh God. Yep, that's what I'll do. Maybe later. Maybe I'll find a wolf that's friendly and I will give it to Greshy. I don't know if dogs in this town will be healthy.
But knowing Greshy, he'd probably prefer it if you found an unhealthy street rat dog and he could, help it get better.
Maybe we
Nurture
should
back
break
health.
every animal out of every pet store.
That's
before
where
we
I'll
leave.
let you figure out if that's something you want to do.
Okay.
I have the card for a curator of very fine goods
Ooh.
that I think we're going to want to visit because he's probably the only person in town who could actually pay for the stuff that we have to sell. Maybe not the only, but
One of them. One of the few.
one of the few. So I was going to go back to the shop where we sold that other robe.
Okay. Is Asher coming with, or?
Sure, why not? I have a few things to sell.
All right. I don't remember which building I said it was last time, but it's now this square that's just down the road. So you go down the
we
road.
specifically chose an inn that was near.
You're
I think we had to
now there.
knock and then show the card to be let in even.
Yes, I think that was the case. So you knock at the door, show the card, and the shopkeeper, the current employee on staff is currently dressed in all white robes. It is a dwarven male with what looks like it would have been a very long beard, but it's like just sliced in half. So I guess it's like Guile's hair from Street Fighter, but upside down. It's all blonde.
Nice.
And he, you seem to be friends of the masters. Come on in. You must have stuff to sell.
We were here just a few weeks ago, and in that short time, yes, we've come into quite a lot more goods which we think he might be interested in.
Well, lay him out. Let's get to appraising. I assume Greshy has given you anything that he would have wanted to sell, but yeah, anything. It's sell time. Anything that you need me to appraise, or?
Well, there's some things on the treasure list as there. So okay, actually, let's start here. We found 6 books that we think are magical, and we've sort of pulled those out from the collection of books that we had. So we put rather a lot of books in the bag, and since doing that, we've discovered that among them are these 3 skill manuals, a book on advanced rune transference, and 2 magic spell books. So I'm not sure what that leaves for the other rare. I have rare spell books and Thessalonian books.
I suppose we could sell the manuals, but we've already used them, so I'm not sure if they're going to be.
I was thinking of maybe donating the manuals to one or the other church.
Which
if that's
manuals?
amenable.
Diplomacy, intimidation, deception.
Deception.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine. I just want to keep the whichever book I got from the Greed wing.
Which
I
book
guess I
was
got
that?
the rune transfer, and then there was a book on transmutation that I have.
Hmm.
And I do want to keep that one. I
Yeah,
do not want to sell that.
These other two batches of spell books, one of them was from Mogmirian, I think, and the other was from Vraxaris's.
So just
No, wait, not Mogmirian. We sold everything that we got from Mogmirian.
so
Yes.
Vraxaris and then
Exploded
whatever
it.
else we
I think
found.
these
in-
were both from Vraxaris's.
Yeah, these are just
Yeah,
from
the manuals
Vraxaris's
were.
library. Is where you pick these up.
Things we stole
Yeah,
from
those
his
are
stuff.
fine. I thought they
Let's see.
recharged over time.
The manuals do
Yeah.
after a month.
So we just sit around for a month until they get better, and then we sell them.
I mean, someone might know
mean-
that they recharge.
I think we could give them into a care of an Abadar, a Rastal, or maybe like
Caden Kalen, just right over here if you want to come by and drop off a couple
Well,
books.
they probably love books.
I'm sure
Yeah,
that
ever been to a
Kalen is
bar
all
that-
about books.
Like a book bar? There's one
A
in
book
Portland that's
bar?
no, I'm serious. Where there's
No,
like
yeah,
books
I've never
along the
heard of
wall,
this.
and you just kind of get in there and you grab a book off the wall and chillax
Huh.
and have a beer and read,
That
read a book of
sounds
some
kind
sort.
of nice.
It's
the
really
place up
lovely.
here is called the Mox Boarding House. BO.
They have terrible food. I'll say that right now.
Mm.
But you know, the beer's fine.
And
Books are nice.
they're quite fun to go visit.
Okay, if you're selling those, let's see. Sorry, you're talking about the various spell books.
Yeah, well, there was, yes, rare spell books and Thessalonian books. I think there was big piles of them.
Okay,
Their bulk is probably not listed correctly, but
they would take those. They would effectively be total together. You can just combine them into one line item, but they would be 475 gold is what they would pay you for those
Okay.
books.
okay.
They have a few high-end collectors who might be interested in these old Thessalonian books, and mages' spell books are often good learning material. It's another thing that they feel like they'd be able to sell pretty easily, especially these, which seem to have quite a lot of old rare spells hidden in them.
Okay, so if we delete that row, then additionally there was a Book of Lingering Blaze and a book of a storyteller's opus in there, and those are all already priced.
Okay. Those were the spell books of
There
Vraxaris
is-
and Athroxis, respectively.
Mm-hmm. We have an adamantine rancour, which has had its runes removed, but is
Still adamantine.
quite high-end construction of a weapon.
Sorry, which? The
rancour, like Athroxis's rancour, minus its
Okay.
Runes.
runes.
Yeah, what's still left
Is
on
on
it?
this list.
Stole it all.
There's... Okay, you've taken all the runes off?
We've
or-
taken off the +3. Well, it still has a. I suppose if we swapped in Asher's +2, then it could keep the greater striking and axiomatic. But I think they.
We did not take the axiomatic off, so
I think you have to take the off if you take the +2 rune off.
no, it just doesn't work.
It just
It
doesn't
just doesn't
work,
work.
yeah.
It's
fair.
completely. So it's technically there, and if we added the +2 back on it, it'd be fine. But
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point.
Let me see.
Yeah, those
So
are
for
still-
this weapon,
Those are still on it.
they would... They're not going to pay for individual runes off of the weapon. They would pay for the entire weapon. And this is effectively
I have that. That has a book value of 16,200 for the material So most of these things are already priced out in the book. I am curious what they would price the dragon scale longbow at, because dragon scale isn't a material that weapons are made out of in the PHP.
Yes, this
So it
was
doesn't
a
have
this
any
is a
known
special.
effects.
Yeah, this is a special weapon. This would effectively
We don't actually know what the
be-
effects are.
Sorry, let me.
Special weapon we didn't want.
Yeah, and we're planning to give it to Shalelu, but
I mean, we could, or we could sell
I'm
it.
just
I mean,
curious
she's
what it
fine.
would do.
Well, I'm
Doesn't
not here
like
to contribute, so.
dragons, so she might
I mean,
like
we-
this
if
as
we
a
didn't sell it to
gift.
them now, we could always come back for it later.
Sorry, I'm trying to
I
find
think
my.
this would be
there
a
we go.
nice gift. That was clearly meant by the DM, perhaps for Asher, but I did not take it at all.
That's fine.
No, it was
you don't have
obviously
to.
for Phelan. Phelan needs a bow.
Yes, Phelan needs it, and he hates dragons.
It's for whoever
Greshy
wants
wanted,
it.
Greshy wanted to
or
give
for
him a
sale.
bow, but he wasn't thinking that kind of bow. But it'll be fine.
No, it's
Think more a
okay.
red fluffy one.
Here we go. So
Goes around the collar.
where is in your sheet? Okay. The bow
I
is
guesstimated
what? You estimated what?
for the bow a value of 15k, because that's comparable to the other. I forget how I got that. It might have been by taking dragon scale for use in armor construction
Oh, it's
and just
it's
applying
not.
it to the bulk of a longbow.
Let me. No, I think this is closer to. We'll call it 10k. For the yeah, they would 10k would
for
be the
value.
total value, so you could sell it for 5k.
Yep. Okay.
And for the Ranseur,
It also has a greater Dragonbane rune on it, which is the one that we don't know the value of. I think that was custom at
I
the
mean,
time
no,
too.
there are Bane runes now.
There are Bane runes now, but there are no greater Banes.
Oh, that's her.
yeah, it was a homebrew weapon at the time. Yeah, for a. Sorry, I'm just consulting my charts to see.
The good news is that our total gold found is in the ballpark of like 70,000.
Yeah, with the runes
But
removed.
most of that we're going to be keeping, and so we're only looking at something in the range of 20,000 cash split 3 ways.
Yeah. So for the bow, they will take. He estimates the value at. He'll call it 13k. For that's including all the runes like wrapped up into it.
So the greater Dragonbane would be about 1,000.
It would be worth more if it was on a runestone separately. So if you wanted to spend time to transfer it off to something else, then you could. But when they sell weapons, they tend to sell them as package deals, and they don't want to do transfers on their own dime for that. And then similarly for the Ranseur, that would be 14k is what they'd buy the Ranseur at currently. Because they would definitely have to do some
Okay, I
fixes
think that's actually
to
more.
adjust the runes on it.
No, that's comparable. Yeah, that's actually maybe a little bit high. I think with what it has on it, it's only because Asher has grabbed 3 of the runes off of it. I think
Yeah,
Greshy did
they like the
swap
construction of
the
it. It's a
+2.
cool looking weapon, and they think they could get some good value off of it. But yeah, that's what they would pay for the weapon as is.
Okay. Then I'll just fill in. That'd be about.
Anything else that
much.
needs to get identified or priced out?
Yeah, we have an inconspicuous dagger, +2 greater striking with this rune. That I was wearing it as a scarf.
Oh, okay. There's a +2 greater striking.
We don't know the value.
2,000 plus.
We don't know the value of an inconspicuous rune. That might
would be about
something that Gunn would just.
Yeah, that would be 2,600 is the rough
The
value.
rune value.
Well, total.
Okay.
What they would pay for that weapon is
then-
2,600 is what they value it at, and they would pay
So
half of that if
1,300?
you wanted 13, yes.
Okay. Then I think Gunn will probably keep that weapon and keep it as is,
All right.
and use it as an emergency, at least for now. The quiver we also don't know the value of, but I think Asher probably would choose to keep that because it just gives you the ability to pick an element and do elemental damage instead of physical if we find something that resists. But
Something
could-
I want on this
again,
list.
we could get the value and then you can choose.
Yeah, they'd value that one at 13k.
Oof.
It's a
Okay.
fancy
So
weapon.
that might be, yeah, that might in fact be a choice after all.
I mean, what would you buy with the money?
Whatever you want.
Could you buy another quiver of wrath?
No, but we may have
No,
to
because
go,
those don't exist anywhere.
Exactly.
I think maybe today we'll only sell the things that we definitely don't need, and then we'll go looking through their inventory and through other places to find some possible purchases.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't want to rush you guys on shopping. So what we'll do is we'll talk offline about exactly what things you guys are looking for. I'll build proper shop lists like I was meant to do last week. And I'm actually going to give you guys 2 weeks to decide on purchases. So even if you leave the city
cool.
next week, that's fine. This is basically the last time that you get to shop for real in the adventure. So if you want to spend anything, now's the time to do it. I mean, not that gold wouldn't potentially have uses in the future, but this is your last big trip to a town or a city. So, not that you could.
We're going to Zinj last.
think
There's
we
plenty
could-
of stuff there.
I think we're
We will
pretty
buy
well
it.
aware of that.
I'm just giving you
And,
a little bit of extra confirmation that the next city that you're going to is maybe not the easiest one to buy things in. So yeah, do all your side quests as Cap says in the
And
chat.
we do have priority lists that we've come up with of,
Yes, I've
Once you
seen
leave,
those.
you
Like to
cannot
get-
return.
and to some degree, the decision
You can
about
return
whether
if
we
you
sell
want.
some of this stuff is based on what we can find to buy as well.
Right. So yeah,
So we may not. It
we'll
doesn't necessarily make sense to sell everything up front, but
yeah. So at least you've got the values on all those things. Consider that. Yeah, we'll work out the actual shopping offline, and yeah, I'll give you basically next week to make any purchases you want to for sure know that you've made, and then the week after you'll still have a chance to retroactively make purchases, or do any selling or anything.
Thanks. Because
I would like to make sure you guys have a chance to gear up as much as you need or want. Again, you can return to Riddleport if you've got a fast way to do so, but I imagine it won't make a lot of sense story-wise, so it'll be hard to justify unless you've got very quick teleportation methods.
Which we really don't right now, but who knows?
All we have is
change.
Stranzelplom's scrolls of instantaneous rune transfer.
That's true. You
Side loaded into.
That's a good point.
note that
I'll
says,
give you an
"Please sell me
updated
something."
Stranzelplom as well, so you'll know what he has going into the
Appreciate
game.
it.
But yeah, cool. Hope you guys had fun. Sorry, this is we ended on upkeep, but
that's fine.
I knew we were gonna get there. It's the fun part. Everybody loves shopping. Hopefully you'll enjoy shopping vicariously through our party. But yeah, that's all I got for this
Please
week.
find my ring, Jason.
Your
That's
ring.
all I care about. I just want my ring of sustenance.
Oh, you
I
want a ring of
couldn't
sustenance?
find-
Oh,
I
right.
want
I
to
forgot you
not-
didn't find it
Yes.
last time.
I want to not have to eat and only sleep for 2 hours a night. This is what I want. This is
Living
what I
the
choose.
dream.
Sounds reasonable to me.
That's on the list. Okay. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I forgot to play the outro music, but there it is. Have a lovely evening. See you next time. Good night.
Same bat chime, same bat chime.